Shabbat Shalom. This section of the Torah is filled with a lot of laws. Any one of them would make an interesting dross. Some of them would be validating, and others outdated and highly problematic. As I read through them, I found myself getting lost in the weeds, wondering what God was really trying to do with all these laws. Why didn't God just give us the principles, the ethics, the values by which we were to determine the legal implications? Why is God giving us all the details, allowing us to get lost in the arguments of individual merit, missing the big picture of what we were trying to do? Recently, I had an interesting conversation with someone who worked for the ACLU about the pros and cons of community organizing. During the course of that conversation, we started to talk about how hard it was to hold both the how and why we were doing something in the very same conversation. The problem is that how something is done is time specific to one's circumstances, while why it is done can be a guide for centuries. God wanted us to create a moral, sacred society, and since we had been slaves and nomads, we had no track record for understanding what morality was. God gave us the details of how that society should function. The underlying sexism, classism, and inequality of the Israelite society rings loudly in this part of the Torah portion. It should not be ignored. A woman who is raped in a city is raped. An engaged woman who sleeps with another man does not deserve the death penalty. Men as well as women have the responsibility to uphold their wedding vows. Someone who worships idol should not be demolished and destroyed. But if we change the question and focus on the why instead of the how, we realize that the biblical text is trying to teach us a lesson about the connection between our words and our actions. As it is written in Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 24, Motza sefatacha tishmor v'asita, kasher nadarta l'Adonai Elohecha nadava asher dibarta b'ficha. You must fulfill what has crossed your lips and perform what you have voluntarily vowed to Adonai your God, having made the promise with your own mouth, with your own mouth. Our words matter. When we pray for justice and do not work for justice, we have sinned. When we pray to love our neighbor, we do not even think about what life might be like for someone other than us, we have sinned. When we say we have a community but do not work to make that community healthier, we have sinned. When we pray for peace but do not work for justice, we have sinned. Our Torah portion today is not about the how one creates a sacred society, for ultimately that job is left up to us. Rather, it is about the why we should create a sacred society. Not a sacred society devoid of Jewish rituals that make us unique and enhance our lives, but rather it's a sacred society where our ethics, our politics, our rituals, and our words are in sync with each other, creating the holy community we have always desired. This month, during Elul, as we walk our way towards Slichot, Rosh Hashanah, and Yom Kippur, may we hear the cry of Isaiah, chapter 58, verses 1 through 14, the end of this every year's Yom Kippur Haftorah reading. Cry with a full throat, without restraint. Raise your voice like a ram's horn. Declare to my God their transgression, to the house of Jacob their sin. To be sure they seek me daily, eager to learn my ways. Like a nation that does what is right, that has not abandoned the laws of its God, they ask me for the right way. They're eager for the nearest of God. Why, when we fast, do you not see? When we starve our bodies, did you pay no heed? Because on your fast day, you seek to do your business and oppress all your laborers. Because you fast in strife and contention, and you strike with a wicked fist. Your fasting today is not such as to make your voice heard on high. Is such the fast I desire? A day for people to starve their bodies? Is it bowing the head like a bulrush and lying in sackcloth and ashes? Do you call that a fast? A day when Adonai is favored? No, this is the fast I desire, to unlock fetters of wickedness and untie the cords of the yoke, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. It is to share your bread with the hungry and take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, clothe that person, and not to ignore your own kin. Then shall your light burst through like the dawn, and your healing spring up quickly. Your vindicator shall march before you. The presence of Adonai shall be your rear guard. Then, when you call, Adonai will answer. When you cry, Adonai will say, here I am. If you banish the yoke from your midst, the menacing hand and the evil speech, and you offer your compassion to this hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then shall your light shine in darkness, and your gloom shall be like a noonday. Adonai will guide you always. God will fulfill your thirst in parched places and give strength to your bones. You shall be like a watered garden, like a spring whose waters do not fail. People from your midst shall rebuild ancient ruins. You shall restore foundations laid long ago, and you shall be called repairer of fallen walls, restorer of lanes for a habitation. If you refrain from trampling on Shabbat, from pursuing your affairs on my holy day, if you call Shabbat delightful, Adonai's holy day honored, and if you honor it and go not your ways, nor look to your affairs, nor strike bargains, then you shall seek the favor of Adonai. I will set you aside the heights of the earth and let you enjoy the heritage of your ancestors, for the mouth of Adonai has spoken. May we find ways to live the why of our sacred tradition into the how of our daily life. Shabbat Shalom.